Very good evening, everyone. Am I audible to all?
Yes, sir.
All right, so welcome in today's program, the Startup, the Friday show. Today we are going to talk more in terms of basics for the startups and especially the word startup. So we already did around 3 events in the past over the Friday show. So this Friday we have fixed only for the innovation, incubation, and startups journey and area. So welcome, and again welcome in this program. Let me begin the program with the way we do it. So this Friday, today we are going to talk about the fundamentals of startups, why and how. Right. So in the why, I have designed some learning plan. So why means why to do it, why to become a startup. So becoming a startup is probably it's in personal thoughts. Some of thinking to be a startup, some of not thinking to be a startup. They prefer to choose the routine career option like job and XYZ. Why to be a startup? Maybe in financial growth. Why to be the startups? Maybe the technology shift. Why to be the startups? Maybe in the demand and population. So we look at in a four different angles. Why to be a startup? The next learning plan of the day, that is how. How means how to become a startup. So I have designed the 4 things here. That is goal, skills, planning, and resource mobilization. To becoming a startup, we probably looking the 4 or 5 things to be done to set up a successful startup. So starting with the word startup, what mean by the startup? Look at the left side diagram, which represent the 3 things. That is innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship. And the startups are actually the value creator. So people who wants to be in a startup must use the innovation. People who wants to be the startup must use the digital or the technology platform. People who wants to be a startup must have some entrepreneurial value set. All right, so look at the right side. This word is actually originated in 70s and get populated in 90s, where the technology or the internet were booming up. In a year around 2000, this is busted, and e-commerce based startups like Flipkart, like PayPal, Microsoft, MSN, and others are gaining the popularity. This is the startups actually also are the early stage companies, right? And they have a huge potential to go at any height in a terms of their growth, using the new technologies, using the innovation as a portion in it. In a simplified manner, we call it that is startups is a scalable, fast growth potential, right? So any company which has a scalability and fast growth potential, which does not have in a traditional business, probably called the startups. And the startups means a very simplified, it's a technology startups. It is not mean that any person who starting any venture, any kind of the business, any kind of the economical activity, call themselves as startups. The startups only mean when the technology involved in it. They are the small companies and having a huge potential. The last point, which says that what mean by the startup? When I starting something, it means I hire people, number of people to be develop my product, number of people to develop my services. So here is a very clear word, that is founding team, and the structure of the founding team, especially from the attitude and skills prosperity, are important portion in a startup. It does not mean that I want to become a startup. I want to build a product or a service. So what I do, I hire a lot of people. right? So when you are going for hiring of a person, it's become very challenging to manage the cost because the people will not join you as a free of cost. All right. So in a simplified manner, the startups are a small company with big vision, right? I'm starting from bottom. A venture initiated by its founders around an idea or a problem with the potential for significant business opportunity and impact. It means the startups are the company who started by some founders, some one or two persons around a problem, solving a niche problem, or taking a problem which is not earlier taken by anyone else, or not solved by anyone else in a different manner, which we call the disruptive innovations. Aim of the initial founders is to establish a committed co-founder team. What mean by it? The startups need to be think about the co-foundership relationship with the other to manage their initial skill gaps. See, you do not have the all skill set in you. You need some skill set which is not in you, maybe in someone else, and the like-minded people in your team, which we call the co-founders also. So the primarily stage, the startups also need to be think about to bring the co-founders or the co-workers in your team having the skill set and attitude to be do it, right? To validate initial problem statements and all the things which is required, right? In addition to innovation process itself, from idea to value generation, products and business model, startups also need to have a strong and committed founding team. Many startups failed because of uncommitted team, because of poor commitments. The startups grown because of a strong team, because of a committed team. Someone in a platform said, we are looking to fund a idea which do not have probably the high end of innovation, but having a strong and committed team, having a team which is committed and have the skill sets, complementary skill sets in each other. So, and in fact, in earlier days when you are looking for some fund, some seed money, the evaluator evaluate the startup's idea in terms of team also. We also look how the team is strong, how the team is capable to do this. Maybe the idea is not oriented with the deep technology interventions. Maybe the idea do not have a high in the innovation, but the team is strong. So when the team is strong, the reasonable good ideas also succeeded and built out a great startups. Right. So in addition to the innovation process itself, from idea to value generation, products and business model, startups also need to have a strong, committed founding team and develop both of these together into a real growing business and organizations that captures the value being created as a great company. So startups are the value creators. All right. In the last point, what mean by the great company is actually. So great company means it is a self-sustaining entity. Means we have the vision to be for the startup. The startups will be self-sustained. The startups generate the revenue. The startups generate the IP's value and all the things and satisfying the customer needs too. So great company means it's a self-sustainable entity that is no longer dependent on any single individual or the other organizations. Many students come to us and asked, sir, whether we go for the legal registration or not, whether we operate one-person company or we go for the LLP or the private limited. So when you are doing a business without registering your legal entity, your startups never become self-sustainable because the money you earn actually goes into your pocket. And the startups, the legal name never get benefited out of it. So that's why we prefer the people when they have the mature in slides. When you have a mature idea, when you have the market fit product, you must go before going to market. You must have the legal registration of it and all the intellectual properties, knowledge. Now your strategy and all the things has been owned by that legal entity. Then only you have a sustainable entity. Or that's why, in fact, the registration and trademark protection, patent protection, it means IP protection is done under the name of the startups rather in the name of the individuals. So very clear, the startups are the small company with big vision. Actually, when you are pitching your idea to someone or the investor, you are actually selling your ideas. You are actually selling your vision, what you want to do with this, what value you are creating in it. All right, so this is a ranking which is actually started by DIPP, Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, Government of India, in year 2018. So 2018 was a year when the first state ranking was launched. This year, they also launched the ranking in around 2 or 3 weeks before. So in comparison, left side image is showing the states ranking in 2018 and right side showing the state ranking in 2019. So you probably go and compare it. What I mean to be put with this, that is building a right ecosystem, building a right environment to flourish the startups are necessity of the day. In a 2019 ranking, the best performer state is Gujarat. That is also in a last year in a 2018 also. Top performer states are Karnataka and Kerala. And if you look at the left side, the top performer states is Karnataka, Kerala, Odisha, and Rajasthan too. This year, Rajasthan and Odisha come down and they are joining the leaders pool. Here in Bihar, Maharashtra, Odisha, and Rajasthan as a leaders pool. Aspiring leaders are Haryana, Jharkhand, Punjab, Telangana, Uttarakhand. And emerging startups ecosystem, Delhi, UP, Assam. So the IPP have a parameter by which they actually score each state, and on the basis of that, they declare these results. All right, so this is a global startups ecosystem. Every year, they release ranking of the countries, cities, how the startups ecosystem are developing in our country. So India is actually here. This year, India is on 23rd rank. India shifted 6 rank bottom side. It means today, this year, India's rank 23, which is earlier in a 17. And we have around 38 cities in a top 1,000 list. And Delhi, Bangalore is a rank 26. Delhi rank 36. Right. India in Asia, we have Mumbai in a first rank, right? Then Chennai, Hyderabad, Pune, some other cities which are now more growing in it. In terms of innovation ranking, in terms of ease of doing business ranking, we accelerated it, and we have now 63rd rank in a nation, in a worldwide. All right, so how actually startups, sustainable startups are come to us, and for that we need to understand how a change in technology happen over the period of time. If you look at the early age when the people were using the saw and other some technology for their household, so the first two things which is actually hit the technology domain, that was probably the steam engine I taken, and then the electrical engineering, and then automobile, aircraft, and all comes in around 2000. We came with the technology which is called the internet, and that internet's actually become the burst in the market, and the startups are grown up an n number of sites where, especially in US and UK, where the internet facilities or the infrastructure are ready to launch. Today, in a fourth generation, we are in a fourth generation revolution of this industry. Here are artificial intelligence, IoT, big data, clouds, blockchain, and other technologies are coming. To becoming a startup nowadays is more easier. That is not matter of the success and failure, but the launch of the activities become very easier. You can register your company online. You can register your product online. You can now learn the many things which you do not know through the internet and the Google and YouTube channels and all. So this has become easier. That's why, and this technology is also now demanding each and every states, each and every country, new things in the market. That's why the startups have a higher need here. All right, so basic things where we are looking for the startups in terms of traditional business. If we compare it, probably you all know about how traditional business is actually working. So and how the startups is actually now working. What is the thin line difference in between them? So in a traditional business, you have the business plan. You already know what to do. You want to open a shop. You want to open a factory. You want to open a manufacturing unit. You need to be some planning in it. In a startup, so what is required? You require a disruptive business idea. You require a burning problem to be solved. You require an innovation in it. In a traditional business, your business plan, your idea, your entity setup could be funded by require a huge capital. In a other side, today in a startups, probably you do not require a much capital. In fact, you require a skill set which you call the resource mobilization. Means in a gig economy where you can arrange the many things in a very simple or in a very cheapest manner. Here in a traditional business, the factory shop is required. It means the physical infrastructure is required, and against which you can generate the revenue. You can bring the money in your business. Here, you do not have this kind of the asset in this startup ecosystem. You only have equity to share with the investor. In a traditional business, the banks fund you against the against your property, against the mortgage of any assets. But in a startups ecosystem, the banks never fund you. The startup ecosystem is run or the fund by the angel investors, venture capitalists, and some other kind of the people. In fact, the crowdfunding and other sources are also open. Here in a traditional business, your growth measures, yani growth indicators are revenue or the profit. If your business is generating revenue, your business is generating profit, it means your business is doing well. But here in a startups ecosystem, there are the variety of growth measures where active users, gross margin, burn rate, conversion rate, consumer acquisition cost, customer lifetime value, new leads, clients, revenue, and apart from revenue and profit, these are the 9 parameters as available for the growth indications. All right, so this is a traditional startups growth model. The one side is the revenue, other side is the timeline. And when you start a business, start and building your own startup, you have a lot of pain to be bear. And a reason which we call the valley of death is actually a reason where this is actually the reason, the valley of death, where large number of startups are failed, where large number of startups are not able to cope up with this because of not because of the money, because of the poor support, because of poor mentoring assistance, because of the poor ecosystem in a center where you are looking for, right? So with the right ecosystem, startup ecosystem, the people cross this valley of death. So renowned incubators, accelerators, and some private organizations, they actually help the startups to cross this valley of death. The iNurture Incubation Foundation is an incubator. We help the people, help the students, help the startups to cross this valley of death with the assistance, with the services, with the support which we have in terms of mentoring, intellectual property rights, and right business modeling, right technology selection, and the initial level seed money assistance. So all the things which is required, and this is actually the zone which we time and where the large number of happenings are actually done here. So in this, from your ideation to the first break-even point, reaching the break-even points, you need to do lot of activities. I will show you later in the slide. And here in this stage, you are able to generate the money through the angels, through the family, friends, and your father, and the seed capital. And in the later stage, if you look at that, this curve, which is actually which you call the exponential curve or the hockey stick model, the growth are exponential. Means when you cross the break-even point, when you have a traction, the investor put the money in your startups, and you in a 2 nights, in a nights, you multifold your income, multifold your valuation actually, right? So from this side of break-even point, you have the option to bring the venture capitalist and bring the mega venture capitalist, mega alliance with you, which actually fund you now in terms of win $1 billion, and your startups grown like anything. So why to be a startup, right? If I ask my engineering days and my schooling days, probably we have a lot of subjects to be studied, physics, chemistry, maths, and now variety of things, but no one tell us how to earn actually money. So here I believe I'm not blaming to my education system. In fact, I'm saying that if this education system also adds some skill set of earning money, probably everyone have a capability to be the own boss. So when I have read this model which you are showing on the screen, that we call the cash flow coordinate, and this cash flow coordinate is actually developed by the Robert Kiyosaki. And Robert Kiyosaki said, there are the four segments, four career option you have to choose and to earn the money. One is which called the employee. Now, you can join any organization and become the employee, which you call the job. Second, we call the self-employed. Means you can start your own restaurant, you can start your own clinic, you can start, there are several professions where the people now start their own. You can start your own tuition classes also. So this is called a self-employed, where the one person is employed, means the you is actually employed. And then there is an option, you can start a business where several people you can hire who actually work for you, and your business is actually taken care by the people who you hire, and you are overall managing the things. And the last one, which you call the investor, you can put your money to right place, park your money to right place, and that money is actually working for you, and they generate some income for you. So any individual who choose an E, S, or B, or I by his own value system, by his own risk-taking capacity, by his own risk appetite. But if we have a education system which generate the, or which remove the fear concepts which inside us, probably we all choose to be a business owner or an investor. All right, so let me brief this. So here is a 5% wealth, which is actually distributed in 95% population of the world, right? And in this side, 95% wealth, which is actually distributed in the 5% population. Choice is yours. So if in my engineering days, someone told us you can be a business owner, or why you're going for a job. I'm not saying that job is bad. I'm not saying that the people are not earning good amount of money in the jobs. There are many CEOs who are earning a very handsome amount of salary every year. But till what? Till what time? Till that they are not going to for the retirement. And Robert Kiyosaki also said, you can, at a point of time, you can work in a 4 coordinates too. Why and how? Let's take an example of a doctor. A doctor who is employed in a hospital, and in the evening, doctors has clinic. So he earn the money in the evening from the clinic. Here he is getting the salary. Doctor also started a manufacturing company of some medicine. So he earned the money from there also. The money which doctors earn from in this 3 coordinates invested in somewhere, either in a land, either in buildings, or in any startups too. Doctor also generate the revenue from here. So from a single point of time, I can work in a 4 coordinates parallelly, and there is no harm. There is no legal problem in it. It's complete. The entire thing is a transparent, because whatever the income you are generating, if it is a tax payable income, you are paying the tax to the government. So nothing is wrong here. All right. So no one told us probably, and if you are doing a wonderful degree, a wonderful professional course, having the great skill set, think about it. Why I only join a company which pay 10 lakh, 15 lakh, 18 lakh, 20 lakh rupees package? Rather, I should try for my own startup. All right. The second one, if I do not want to be a startup, what happen in the future? See, we are living in a country where the population is a higher side. We are just behind with China. And how many people will travel to US, right? And how many people will settle down in other countries like Canada and Europe? We need to think about our own country. We need to think about how I can make my own country beautiful to live here. And in this high population, if everyone is asked for the job, I say any government, any system cannot provide, cannot do it. So we need to be think about some of our own solutions. We need to be think about to take some initiative to why I am standing in a queue of where the others are asking for a job. If I have the skill set, right platform, right support system, let me try for something else. Let me try to become an entrepreneur, over which I not only employ myself, I am also capable to help the others too, and build a good product which is not only used in my country, which is used in the entire world. All right, so this is the second reason. The third one, that is the unemployment. Probably the unemployment scenario in India is not good. And in fact, the skilled people, in fact, the people who are completed his degree, his master's program, his graduation programs, or higher slightly educated, they are in a queue of the unemployment, right? So it means there's another reason that we are employed. Sorry, we are educated, but not having the skill set which is actually no, required to the industry. And there are two other things which is actually hammering all of us, not only the India, the entire world. One is the Industry 4.0, where the smart technologies are coming, and the other things that is we recently faced, that is the COVID-19, the pandemic. People had to shut down the business. People have to be come down the cost of the business, and a number of people, n number of people have been lose their jobs or cut down in their salary. All right, we need to be an entrepreneur. We need to be a startups to solve these are the 17 problems which actually are identified by the United Nations, and these we call the Sustainable Development Goals. See, if I have identified a problem in the entire world, anywhere in the world, and I have a solution, I believe people will come and pay you. I believe someone definitely come and say, you deploy a solution and we will pay for it. So you go and visit this. These are actually the problems which is defined, well defined by the United Nations. And if you really have the solution for the society, must come forward. All right, so these are the background needs to be a startup. Now, you also understand that any business is not called as startups. Any things which we are actually thinking that I'm making XYZ things and launching enterprise is called as startups. This is not true. The startups is actually a small company started by 1 or 2 person, and now including the technology skill, which actually give the scalability to your product, to your startup, then only it's called as startups. So now the next stage we are covering today, how to launch your startups. I always thinking why this rocket science is used whenever we talk about the startups. Remember, startups are always light asset model concept in terms of economics, right? Traditional business are the heavy asset model. Startups are the light asset model. Light asset means that startups are very light in terms of the cost. Like, they do not have the full-time people in their company. They do not have their own infrastructure office space. In fact, they do not have the systems and laptops on their own company. They purchase. They always taking all the things on rent side. So the cost of the initial investment, which is actually a lighter part of any startups, right? All right. So the first step is to be identify the real problem or the pain. And when you identify a problem, it is required to think about how I can the real problem. It's real problem is not available on Google. You can do it, which you call the research of the over the problem through the Google, but you cannot search the real problem with the Googles. One thing, right? So you need to be you need to be identify a real problem and do a research over the problem, whether the problem is genuine, whether the real problem is still lie in the ground level, or this is done by someone else, whether the solutions which you are building is actually a novel solution, or already the n number of solutions are available in the market, and you are actually reinventing the wheel. So you need to be perform a research over the problem and the solution too, whether your solution is unique or not. Now, in the third stage, you need to do the parallel 3 things. One is called the founding a team, because you started and you do not have the all skill set. So you also, one side you need to open for the looking for good people with the same kind of similar kind of mindset, with the mindset which called the entrepreneurial mindset, having a vision to be an entrepreneur, be a startup, rather to join any organization. Second, you need to be think about the solutions, right, and your business model too. So you have to perform the 3 tasks here in at stage 3, which help you to go for the next stage. So in a 4th stage, you need to complete the proof of concept. Means whatever the solution you have built out here for the business in terms of business model, you also prove here at the stage 4. And at stage 4, from the stage 4, you are open to raise some of the money, which you call the funds from your family, friends, and fools, your own fund, or you can go for the innovation competition by which you can earn generate some money. You can also approach some grants program, like we have a program which is called the Tide 2.0, where we provide this seed money of 4 lakh rupees to build out your idea to POC stage. And at the stage of 5, you need to build a minimum viable product, which is what's the minimum viable product that we'll discuss later or the next Friday show. So minimum viable product is a product which is minimally required before the prototype, and to reaching that stage you can earn some seed money, and the later stage you can move with a prototype. And prototype is actually a actual product which is used by your customer. This is not less than any product. So it's actually a prototype is actually the bench scale production, which means a product which you develop 1 or 2 pieces, but it's actually similar product like which you produce in a manufacturing stage. And the last, which you call the launch, you need to go for the market to with the business plan you already planned. And here you have a opportunity to raise the money either through angel investment or VC. In fact, sometime VC angel is also now interested to fund you at the prototype stage 2. All right, so I have covered today the basic things in terms of the startups. So the idea is to remove the confusion which actually generally people have in terms of startups, entrepreneur, and a small scale enterprise. They say that every enterprise is a startup. Is not true. The startups are very different kind of the system. It's different kind of the model, which you call the light asset model, in respect of any other enterprise model. So this is from my side. This program is now open for question answer. If you wish to ask anything, either you can ask here through the audio, or you can write your query here in a chat. Over to you.
Hello.
Yeah, Ayush.
Yeah, hi sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Yeah, thank you for the all the information about startups. It was pretty good actually. So I just have one question. Since you spoke a lot about emerging startup markets, so what, as a fund manager, what are the sectors you are more excited about? Let's say for the next 5 years or so, and did that change because of the COVID-19 scenario?
Yes, probably. Let me answer. You have the several questions. You have mixed it. Are you sure? Probably in a 5 years domain, the IoT, blockchain, and the industry 4.0 related technologies will pace the market of the startups. One. Second, in fact, today we also now we're looking for that deep startups kind of people. In fact, if you look at the Indian scenario, we have around 31 or 27 or 31 unicorns, right? And if we need to produce a large number of jobs for the Indian market, we definitely need to adopt the deep technology startups in the culture, right? One point. Second, this COVID-19 definitely impact the market, and people are today more not serious about whether the fund in terms of funding the startups. They are more putting the money in a safer startups. They are willing to park their money in a startups which actually either having a huge traction or having the good market potential.
Okay, I think that makes sense. Thank you.
Do we have any other query? All right, so I believe people do not have the more query. We are closing here. Vivek, we are closing here of the day. Thank you all for joining. In the next Friday show, we are probably welcoming some of the people who can discuss the around 1900s, 19 or the 100 key jargons which are used in a startup's ecosystem. And if you wish to be join this startup industry, you must understand these jargons, right? So probably I have also used some of the jargons today. I believe in the next session, now we have some people who discuss 19 and 100 jargons, and you are welcome in the program again. So we are closing here. Thanks for joining this the Friday show event. Looking for you to join the next Friday. We are signing off here. Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you, sir.